The long weekend. I am posting at the behest of my wife, partner, and due to financial issues within my field and lockouts, etc. we cannot afford a poly low cost, so for now this is the best option. We have been to counseling, but I am still loath to accept the advice given or the same explanation given. It just doesn't feel right. My wife and I are having a difficult time resolving an issue and are seeking advice from other couples. About a month after our daughter was born, my wife's ex-lover came to see our daughter. When I answered the door, the ex said he didn't know I was home and had heard from a previous co-worker that my wife had just had the baby and he had come to see her. I was surprised by this because we had all three worked together when my wife and I started dating. I did not know that they had had a relationship or that they were friends. I let him in and called my wife. She came to the door, he told her the same, she got our daughter and let him hold her. He held her for a few seconds and left. I asked what that was about. My wife lied and said they were friends. The next day she told me they had slept together a few times before we started dating. He had called once while she was pregnant and she didn't tell me. She told him we were together and having a baby. We were in an off and on relationship before me moving in and conception. She had gone to his surprise birthday party at a restaurant a month before I moved in and didn't tell me. After my wife and I lived together for 2 weeks, I went behind bars for 3 weeks prior to conception and felt we should get a DNA test. She says they didn't sleep together while I was in behind bars or since we started dating. The physical relationship was over since the beginning when we first started dating. We have different opinions and don't know why this man would feel the need to come see our new baby. Has anyone had a similar situation or helpful opinion as to why he came over? If you are a man and had a physical friendship with a woman, would you have thought about seeing the baby? Why or why not? I did have the DNA test, which she was willing to do. She paid for it too. My daughter is mine, no doubt. She says that she hadn't seen him in over a year and that he had called while she was pregnant but did not tell me about it. During the call she said she told him that she was with me now and could no longer see him. She said it was quick and he didn't say much as she was headed out the door for work. We are not legally married but have lived as such and were engaged prior to my daughter's birth. I met my wife and known her for about a year and a few months, then moved in with her. I proposed and bought a ring while she was pregnant. We were to be married after the birth of my daughter. Once this is resolved, hopefully, we can get past this and move on. Wife responds, my husband and I are writing and reading this together. He suggested the DNA test, then said he didn't want to. I talked him into it and paid for it. I know he is the only man I had slept with and I knew the results would prove it. He said I figured I had a 50/50 chance and that is why I took the test. We had talked about marriage before our baby was born, but the ring and talks about setting a date were not done until after this had happened. He has already done all the snooping and checking that has been suggested. We really want helpful opinions on this. Has anyone had a similar situation, known someone with a similar situation, or as a man, do you have an opinion as to why he came over? Husband responds, the problem is my wife says she did not have a physical relationship with him since we were together from the first time, which would be approximately 2 years prior to our daughter being born. She says that she does not know why he showed up. She saw him last at the surprise B-Day party and they did not sleep together then, according to her. I am looking for other reasons why he would show up, or basically how to believe this considering the circumstances. She would like for this issue to be laid to rest and my trust extended in her version of events. I am looking for any other suggestions people may have to aid her cause or side, as it were. Any people who have been through similar circumstances and the party in question was proven innocent of any subsequent or prior wrongdoing. This is a thorn in our side, as I would like to believe her. However, I do not feel trust can be extended here without the entire truth which she professes to have divulged to me. That being said, everyone seems to be of one accord regarding the dubiousness of the situation, and that begs further explanation or some resolution. As far as I am concerned, I see things differently than her. Wife responds, yes, I did lie and it is wrong. It was a relationship that was in the past and I didn't tell him about it. Since my husband did know him from work, I should have told him. I didn't get nervous when he started asking questions because no questions were asked. He just went to bed and we didn't talk. I knew what I did was wrong and went to him the next day with the truth. The other man and I were more friends than anything else. My previous marriage was over. My ex-husband took all self-esteem and self-respect away from me. When my friend, other man, came on to me, I gave in because it was the first time in 9 years. I felt good about myself and thought someone might actually like me. So, I didn't break up with him. When he got a girlfriend, I stopped sleeping with him and we remained friends and talked on the phone. His girlfriend came up to the job, where she also uses to work, and invited some people to a restaurant for other man's birthday. That was one of the off times in my husband and my relationship. I would say our relationship was off and on due to both of us, due to ending a very bad marriage on my part and his not being ready to commit and disappearing at times. My husband and most people on this site do feel I'm a liar, and I did lie in the past, so why should he believe anything else I ever say? But I know my husband is the only man I had slept with and I knew he was the father of our baby. The OM messed up our lives and I don't know why. My husband says that because he is a man, he knows the only reason the other man came over is because he thought the baby was his. The other man would have to be a total idiot and bad at math to believe that. Also, we actually did 2 DNA tests. Husband responds, we had 2 DNA tests done because I was suspicious of the first one. We had agreed to do the test and I said I would send it off, but I fell short of cash and had to wait to get paid. In anger, I left in the vehicle under the seat. Stupid, I know. She saw was hurt that I would do so and sent it in herself. I did not know she sent it in and found out later. The main problem is not the system or paternity now. It is whether or not I can trust her and whether or not she is being truthful when she says that they did not sleep together for 2 years prior to conception. I need to know if anyone has experienced this and the other man and WW were not sleep together during conception. I do not think he would come by unless he thought he was the father, and that means that they did have intercourse during that period. If she is not honest about it and claims that at the party and after while I was still serving, she was not sleeping with him, then how can I trust her at all ever, regardless of whether or not our child is mine? The second test was legit as far as I am concerned, as I handled it myself. It was male in swab gloves and all. Is there a problem with those, as I took care not to cross-contaminate the specimens? I had some training in medical lab tech class with specimens and contamination and such, so I am sure it was well handled. I am my daughter's father. The concern is trust and truth in a real relationship predicated on honesty and forthrightness and total transparency, which it would be hard to have if the entire truth is not told or if there is still form of deceit. Does anyone who has read this feel she is being completely honest and I just need to accept that? Or do I have cause to be leery? Please let us know. If someone has seen this before with all the factors involved and there has been innocence besides just lying and no intercourse, then let us know. I am aware of what I think and what others have said and do not see any who side with her, and she still is adamant that the physical relationship with the other man had ended prior to us even becoming involved initially, for 2 years or near 2 years prior to our daughter's birth. Comment: no more trickle truth, but transparency. Why would the other man visit? No more saving face or protecting the other spouse from hurt. It does not work. Why would he visit? No more lies. She lied about their relationship and maybe the duration of. Again, I ask, why would he even visit after the birth of the child? No more nonsense and rumor. He visited from hearsay alone. As an outsider, the reasons sound ridiculous and the visit absurd. Sure, it is great to show off your newborn like some sort of Lion King scene, but to let your wife's ex-lover proclaim him to his kingdom, or worse, to think the child is his. I'd be appalled. Either she connects the lines or yourself and the rest of us will be prone to arrogantly connecting the dots. Benefit of doubt is given, but you're the only one that can feel your way around this. You should have grabbed the guy by the collar and demanded to know why he was there, then told him never to return. Instead, you invited him into your house, and you let him handle your child. I am unimpressed, and I don't even know you. Imagine how your wife feels. OP responds, I let him in to see what this was about. I knew him but not of their relationship, as they never spoke in my presence while we worked together. Secondarily, how would it be helpful to attack someone merely because they arrive at your house and ask to see your wife? Is it not better to see what it is about so that if needed appropriate action could be taken? To that end, I was able to garner more info which proved unequivocally what it is that was transpiring. I always give people enough rope to hang themselves, so to speak. I was once very capable of the benefit of the doubt. That capability sadly has left me. I did not let him handle my child. He repeated what he said to me to her, and she went to go get our child. Snatching away a 2-month-old or fighting with her in the room would not have been helpful in the least. Unimpressed indeed. I do however agree that a beating is warranted, however that is a feeling that would not have been actionable. Besides, better to see how legit it is first and assess the situation. Thank you for your reply, however unhelpful or unnecessary it may have been. It did allow me to see the ignorance of such actions, as they would not have borne any fruit. Finding him is no problem, as I have his info, but have since found out that to confront him is at best useless, as more lies will be told. It is my wife who has to answer, but if she does not, I have enough info to locate and seek this individual out. I will be back, as I am sure will she. The first paternity test cost $500 and the second was a cheaper one of about $100. I did 2 due to the circumstances under which the first was submitted. The results were 99%. As for the companies used, I would have to dig out the paperwork. I took medical lab technology in college and made sure not to cross-contaminate the swabs and wore gloves to do my best to ensure a sterile sample. I know that doesn't guarantee anything, but I do have experience in phlebotomy and urinalysis and working in a lab, etc. I am not looking to rug sweep or for others to give me anecdotal anything. As stated, we have been to counselors who suggest that I accept her version of events and move forward. One told me not to suspect cheating unless the guy was between her legs, not helpful, and the other female asked to tell me it wasn't true, then turned to me and said, see there, she says she didn't cheat. As if it were that simple. Both seemed to take her side and to tell me it was my own self-esteem issues or childhood phobias manifesting as fear of abandonment and or trouble trusting, and to look into my childhood for possible triggers or past relationships, etc. Therefore, I wondered if my gut was wrong, if my internal BS meter was broken, or if they were right and I should focus on now and the future and accept a completely unreasonable scenario as being just that, a conundrum wrapped in an enigma which could never be solved because the other man was at fault, and I should just accept the unknown. In my experience, however, if it walks like a duck, you all know the rest. I have tried, but to no avail. I have to know what really went down so I can move on and have true R and a real marriage and family that is not built on lies, deception, and hidden activities. That being said, since the counselors felt I could move on in this situation and not have any definitive answers, as she continues to contend that she has no idea why he came over, etc., maybe, just maybe, I am paranoid and the counselors then are correct that I am seeing boogeymen or whatever. If I am crazy and paranoid, then maybe if enough people tell me, I'll get it. Besides, as stated previously, and I know this is foolish, a larger sampling of more experiences is required. As for a Polly with the lockouts in 2 major sports, my field, this year, and her working part-time, it just isn't feasible at this time to do. I have never told her it was cheating if it was before me, and we discussed previous relationships that occurred during our break periods, or so I thought. She knew of my dating a girl while in summer classes at NL College and while we were apart. I explained on several occasions that her seeing someone during this time does not, cannot, and never will constitute cheating. The party occurred a few weeks prior to us moving in. I had heard rumors of her being with another, and I asked. She brushed it off and claimed it never happened, me asking, until I was able to produce the letter I wrote to which expressly asked if she had seen anyone. I do not feel it fair for me to be honest and her not. I had told her that prior to moving in and after he came over that if it was on break, then absolutely it is not cheating. Yet she still lied. That is why hiding it was unacceptable. I worked with her and him together and never had any idea through their interactions that they were friends or anything of the sort. Mind you, she and I hung out at times with other friends of hers, male and female. Plus, he had a GF during their relationship, or friendship as she calls it. I thought all the cards were on the table. The problem is he called her while pregnant and she did not tell me about the call. She says that she told him that we were having a child and that she was on her way to pick me up and that was it. Then he shows up to see our baby and she claims surprise, bewilderment, you name. After he left and I inquired what the hell had just happened, she proceeded to lie. He's just a friend. Classic, I know. I don't know why he came over. She hadn't spoken to him in over a year, failing to mention the phone call at the time, etc. I remember calling BS and sleeping on the couch. She says I didn't say anything and that she could tell I did not believe her. The next day she came to me and told the nature of their relationship. I was upset and snooped and found her address book in which she had their names circled on there, unbeknownst to me at the time, shared B-Day. She then told me they only had slept together a couple of times and that the bonding was prior to me working there and prior to our relationship. We had known each other for about 2.5 years prior to our daughter's birth and about 4 months before dating. So according to her, by the time of the B-Day party they were strictly friends with no more bonding, and that she went at the behest of his GF because everyone from work was going too and she saw no reason why not to go. Again, this was during a break period and could not be viewed by me or anyone as cheating. It was about 3 weeks prior to us moving in. That they would speak on the phone from time but no bonding and only on the phone. I was not informed of this call, which happened while I was at work and she was about 4 to 5 months along. Then the arrival and subsequent lies. Also, about 2 weeks after moving in I was taken for a past warrant that and spent 23 days and my daughter was conceived on the night of my release, which she points to because of the number of times we had slept together that night. She also says that if he did think he was the father he would have to have been extremely bad at math. But seriously, if all she claims is true, then why come by? He knew she was having my child according to her, and he also knew that it was mathematically untenable that he could be the father again according to her. To be clear, they were cheating on his GF at the time of their relationship. Under the ascribed circumstances, I know I would not even care to see my ex's baby. I have told her if it was while I was in behind bars, I could understand, as the time I did disrupted my college and our relationship, and that I could see her not having faith in me or our relationship. I was certainly in no place to offer security or anything, and I could see why she would go back to him during my time and would understand. She says that is not the case. We worked together while she and I dated. Because of school I had to work elsewhere, so they worked together after I left and prior. This was while she and I were on again off again. During this time period from start to finish I had no idea they were friends. While working together with me I never saw them interact in any way as to indicate that they were friends. Prior to when we moved in together and thereafter she had ample opportunity to let me know they were friends, especially since he called and they had hung out recently at the party. While pregnant is when he called and when she had another chance to tell me about their friendship, but she chose to remain silent. When he came over it blew up in her face, and I can understand that she could not say he was a former lover at that moment. However, she could have asked him to leave and not let him hold our child, but she did. Benefit of the doubt gone. I do find quite easy to mail that leap when faced with the precipice of lies and deception and the humiliation of working with this guy and not knowing who he was or that G could represent a threat to my relationship, especially given that we continued to work together after I left, and the whole being friends and birthday party thing plus the phone call all and subsequent arrival to our house. That is tough to deal with. It erodes all trust and any desire to try and see her side. I just want to get back trust, but it's hard knowing the lies and secrecy that implies he knew to keep away in my presence, but did not seek to do so if I was aware. He knew was about me but not me about to him. The tough part is trying to sort out how much is still being hidden or lied about, even if he is gone for good. He marries his HF of the time, so I don't think she knew he cheated. It sucks because I know myself and I am double-checking, asking again and verifying what I can, and am terribly disheartened when things are not verifiable or easily checked. I know I can only control what I do and how I react, but I am sure that the double-checking gets old for both of us. I need to let it go and trust until I can't trust no more, but I'm afraid to extend myself, and it's exhausting and causes fights when there shouldn't be any. I know I need help and so does she. Good God, this sucks for us both. She has done well but I have not. I look for any and every sign of wrongdoing and blow it up unnecessarily. It's not that she is doing wrong, but that always assume the worst regardless of how well she does. I have lost my ability to discern what is true, what is sage, and what to believe. This will be our undoing, and I fear that she takes this bad reaction and the further ones as a sign that it was nest and would be best to keep in the things. She feels I will get mad at, and I do get mad easily now, no matter how innocent she is, and that is on me. I need to accept that she is not doing wrong now, but things get easily set back because of one wrong thing in my eyes. And now my eyes see everything as a threat. She is, however, sticking to the story of she doesn't know why he showed up. As stated, a poly at this time is untenable and has to wait for a bit. In the meantime, I am where I am. Still, if was him coming by to check the status of or are, then she should have been firmer with him, or outright let him know we were exclusive and not just said he and I are having a baby and I'm on my way to pick him up during the phone call. It all seems like crying and half-truths. Makes me wonder about future guys who hit on her or try to get with her. How will she does? How can I handle it when guys approach her? I am not in charge of those things and need to cope and not assume the worst. Phone, email, text accounts are open to us both. Definitely no easy fix. I am aware that I have to do my part and make it safe for her to tell me things via what psychologists and others say, but I am unaware of what my part was. Which doesn't mean I am blameless, but wow, it's a tough situation. We have since discussed boundaries and what we expect and will not accept it. True, I would have been in the wind if not for my daughter, and that is no excuse to stay. I am just tired of being angry and suspicious and full of doubt. The poly seems the way to go, but how reliable are they? I know they are admissible in court and have done some research, but have experts on both sides who either swear by them or dismiss them as unreliable and fallible based on various factors such as nervousness, ability to lie, and believing one's own lies and asking the proper questions. I will do further research, as the ones in my area run anywhere from about 300 to 600. I know it will be money well spent and will definitely aid in our, but whatever, things don't look good, and I would never have done such a thing, but I am not a scumbag piece of crap either. So, it seems that he was looking to see if it was his or trying to get some woman, and neither option is good because it means that yes, she was cheating and their relationship did not end as she states. I am glad and sad that I am not crazy or paranoid or looking for things that are not there. Now she has done her part for real and come clean. It's sad that the counselors we have seen have sought to figure if my childhood or my previous relationships may have affected my ability to trust and not to really address what she did to cause it. We have been to 3 and I quit after it became evident that they were more eager to focus on me and not the actual problem. I know I have anger issues now and little patience for her and have withdrawn into myself and have not extended any love since that day, but truly we should figure out why she did what she did first and then get to how to deal with my anger, disillusionment, and unwillingness to trust her or anything she says or does. Plus, a plausible reason would be nice, as I know why it happened and nothing has changed my initial assessment as of yet. Comment: polygraph today or drop her like a bad habit. Polygraph fail, drop her like bad habit. Polygraph pass. So, what? Drop her anyway. I hate that cowardly chicken crap liars pull with crying. She's a dirtbag keeping her options open. Don't like that. Then she changes jobs immediately, institutes no contact immediately, and honors boundaries immediately. You don't remain friends with someone you used to sleep with when you get married. That dirtbag touched my kid. I would give him a beat down till he couldn't get up, and I would send her with him. They deserve each other's because think they are slick and are both inappropriate. He wouldn't come around again looking for anything but his teeth. OP responds: my sentiments exactly, only he slithered away and I only saw once since out in public at a store. I can't go behind bars for that pawn scum, but have taken appropriate action had I known who this scumbag really he was, would have never made it past hello. Instead, being duped and curious, I let him in to find out what the hell was up. That too pisses me off because I would have made sure he knew who I really was and that my family is mine and had better stay away for his own good. Instead, I got sold a bill of goods and that bastard got away clean before I knew the truth, as it were. 3 months later, update. It's been 3 months since the polygraph test 2 weeks ago, and I've made the difficult decision to divorce my wife. The results showed that she had lied to me and I just couldn't trust her anymore. It was a tough decision, but I knew I had to do what was best for me. The divorce was painful and there were tears and hurt feelings on both sides, but I had to move on. As I pack up my belongings and leave the house we shared, I can't help but feel a sense of sadness and loss. I am taking my daughter with me because she cannot afford her, but at the same time, I feel a sense of hope for the future. I know I deserve to be happy and I'm determined to create a better life for myself. My comment: OP needs to believe he can have a decent life with another person. That is the first step a lot of OP here don't accept. You agree? Comment down, keep your head up, and you can always find a better relationship.